비록 제가 적에게 일격을 가할 수는 없을지라도 대신 맞아드릴 수는 있어요.
That's one way to put this identity. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ekmac. This is Let's Play. Well, it's not a Let's Play yet. Give it a week. But this is Limbus Company, and we have a new banner. Zwei Association West, Section 3, Ishmael. So let's have a look. She has ridiculous defense level. That's a +5, and 237 HP isn't bad either. She's blunt resistant but pierce weak. I wonder if that's something that we'll be seeing a lot of. Wonder if we'll be seeing a lot of blunt and slash next to Kanto. Anyway, Zwei Knight Greatsword form. 0 offense level, 3+4, 2 coins. Not bad. On use, grant 3 aggro to this skill slot next turn. On use, defense level up for every 2 tremor count on self, to a maximum of 3. Base power +1 for every 4 defense level up, so could be 5+4. That's quite decent actually. But she can't get enough defense level up on her own. Inflict +1 tremor count on hit, inflicts +1 tremor count on hit. That's very nice. Ishmael does have a bit of trouble finding identities that can make tremor count actually stick. Aside from LCCB, because that one has a slight problem of actually winning the clashes. Her skill 2 is Can't Let You Through. 4+4. 3 coins. So that's about 16 cap. Not bad. Gain 5 aggro to this skill slot next turn. Gain 1 defense level up for every 2 tremor count on self, to a maximum of 5. On use, at 4 defense level up, coin power +1, so that's 19! That's pretty brutal for a skill 2. Man, I remember when a skill like this alone was actually considered very powerful on a skill 2. Now it's pretty outclassed, and on Clash Win, gain tremor count. On hit, inflict 4 tremor. On hit, gain 4 defense level up next. Gain 4 defense level up next turn. Ooh. Okay, so the skill 2 powers up the skill 1. Or alternatively, it just powers itself up. On hit, inflict tremor equal to tremor count on self divided by 2 to a maximum of 4. And she gains 3 tremor count from winning the clash, so she'd need to. She would need to clash, that's the important thing. On hit, at 8 defense level up, which is 2 uses of this skill, I think. Inflict 1 attack power down, which is quite nice. And finally, her skill 3 is Ward. Oh, so this one has +1, this one has +2. Anyhow, Ward. 5 + 4... 17 base is actually pretty cool. Gain 1 defense level up for every 2 tremor count on self, to a maximum of 5. If this unit is in defensive stance, deal 70% more damage, because why not? Coin power +1 for every 4 defense level up on self. Gain 10 aggro to this skill slot next turn. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of aggro. And you would actually be able to get enough defense level up for the coin power up, but for every 4 defense level up, that's a... oh, good gravy. So, +4 coin power means that we get an 8. So let's go through this. 8 by 3, that's 24. She can hit 29, so she's practically hitting as hard as a W core ID here. Just not quite as hard with the defense level though. Inflict tremor, consume all tremor count on self, and inflict the value of the count consumed as tremor on the target. So you only get to do this once. Deal excess tremor times 5% more damage times 50%. What does it mean by excess tremor? Do they expect us to have 99 tremor or something? On hit, trigger tremor burst, then reduce target's tremor count by 1. If this unit is in defensive stance, do it twice. Her passive is Pride. Yeah, that makes sense. Combat start, gain defense level up equal to tremor count on self. Oh. If this unit is in defensive stance, double the amount of defense level gained from the... So she can get 10 defense level up flat out of the gate. That just means she needs to get 6 more defense level up from other places. Which could be from having enough tremor count on herself and then, I don't know, using this skill or this skill. Yeah, she can get a lot of defense level and she already has a lot of defense level. But yeah, her support passive. At combat start, compare each identity's current HP to the HP at the start of the previous turn. Then apply 2 defense level up to the identity with the greatest disparity of HP values between turns. Messy, but it does come from Pride, so there are unique applications we could get out of this. Finally, her defense skill. Clashable Guard, your shield. Oh, 3 plus 12 though. You'd be relying on having massive amounts of defense level to overpower them. On Clash Win, raise the target's stagger threshold by this unit's final clash power. On Clash Lose, when hit, reduce the attacker's final skill power by this unit's final power. On Clash Lose, does not gain final power from the following sources: resonance and level disparity against attacks. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Combat start, gain 2 defensive stance once per turn. This effect does not compound in potency. Stacking it only extends the duration. So you'd only use your shield once per turn, I guess. When a unit gains this effect, gain the following effects next turn. Fix this unit's speed to its minimum value, 4 to 6. Gain 5 defense level up. Each of this unit's slots gain plus 10 divided by this unit's number of slots aggro. When chaining skills, this unit can draw enemies' attacks toward this unit regardless of speed, focused encounters only. Upon Clash Win, trigger Tremor Burst, cannot be staggered by damage. So here's the thing. This is basically the lamp abnormality page from Library of Ruina, Big Bird's thing. So this just being on an identity in general, we have a very powerful tank here. Then we have Tremor. Oh wait, on use, gain 10 Tremor count. What? For every yeah, so using this will actually trigger her skill 3 immediately. Wow. And on Clash Win, Traversed. This is an unbreakable coin. This coin does not break upon Clash Lose. If an attack has this coin, attack with this coin after getting it. Upon Clash Lose, fix the coin power of the Unbroken skill to 1. No, it fixed the coin power of the Unbroken coin to 1. Okay. Huh. I wonder what they'll be doing with this in the future. Anyway, I don't think I have the Ishmael shards on hand immediately, but we can get it. Yeah, 57, then we just add 25. Just overshot it by 4.
떠들지 말고 줄 똑바로 맞춰 서세요. 아침 조회부터 한술이 드는 건 질색이라서요.
Alright, so let's have a look at what she's like at the base level. Three plus 3. So that only reaches 9. That's not ideal at this level. She does inflict tremor count and she gains defense level up next turn. She gains tremor count from the clash. Gain 2 defensive stance once per turn. But she only has a speed of 3 to 5 at the moment. So let's just tweak her up a little bit. Gain 3 aggro to this skill slot. Gain 1 defense level up for every 3 tremor count on self. Actually, is it? Okay, for every 4 tremor count, now it's every 3 tremor count. And gain base power from being 4 defense level or better, increases the defense level she gains to a maximum of 4 on her skill 2 as opposed to what she has at the moment to a maximum of 3. Three tremor on hit, maximum of 3. Gain defense level up equal to tremor on self to a maximum of 5. Let's go. New combat passive, Shock Nullifying Greatsword. Zwei Knight's Greatsword form, can't let you through. Okay, this boosts both her min speed and her max speed. That's nice. It unlocks her skill 3. This isn't 70% damage though. I did notice that. Zwei Knight Greatsword form. Okay, let's check the story.
안심하세요. 제 뒤에 있는 한 당신에게 화살 하나 닿지 못할 테니까.
This contract lasts 3 days. Any non-nest residents during this period will not be a priority target. 3-day contract. No wait. 3-day contract. Priority protection targets nest residents. Dozens of people are lined up in rows and columns in an empty lot. The hot sun blazes over their shoulders. The child quietly whispers, repeating the information listed in the briefing by the association. Her eyes are full of fervor. After spending several years living under the punitive and ambiguous laws of the Great Lake, this behavior naturally became something of a habit to her. So she doesn't have the hairband, the rope isn't a hairband this time? This time it's a hair tie? Alright, good to notice. She repeated and memorized whatever information was given to her like it was her duty to do so. X-Corps has requested the help of the adjacent M-Corps' Order of Lunar Visage, but they will not be a part of this contract. They are currently absent on an expedition. Even so, the alloy excavation site we are responsible for is comparable to the size of this village in District 24. Therefore, it can be said that the difficulty of this mission isn't too... No assistance from a wing. If it's in an alloy excavation site, then it's got to be pretty risky. And the size of the area we're responsible for is... Huh? She's always like this whenever they're about to depart on a new contract. Most other fixers are yawning or zoning out, staring at the clouds go by, but she is fully focused on the briefing. Then, you are recognized, Knight Ishmael of Section 3. She'd ask a question whenever she grew curious about something, just like she's doing now. Isn't the protection of the excavation site managed by District 24 Advanced Excavation Fellowship and X-Corps Alloy Guardians? I know it's near the border, but it's still within a nest, isn't it? Huh. Alloy Guardian sounds like it'll be a 3-star at some point. As does the District 24 Advanced Excavation Fellowship. I wonder when we'll get our random extractions for those identities. X-Corps sent us a notice of cooperation request. They will be absent from the site for about 3 days, apparently. That is why the Zwei were contacted to protect the designated area, normally under their jurisdiction within District 24. Does that answer your question, or do you have any further questions? No, that does answer my question. The child shook her head before standing with her hands behind her back. She tried to focus on the briefing again. If it weren't for the annoying chatter coming from behind her row, that is. More territory protection contracts is starting to get old. Should have applied for the Order of Land's End. At least the expeditions into the ruins would have kept things interesting. MCOR was right next door anyway, so endeavour is pointless. Ahem. The child coughed lightly, then whipped round in hopes of putting a stop to that incessant chatter and once and for all. Of course, the child's every word was dripping with barely suppressed annoyance. Can you zip it and pay attention to the briefing, please? We're paying attention. Oh yeah? Are you though? 4 minutes ago, the director already answered your complaints by explaining that MCOR's Order of the Lunar Visage doesn't have the time or resources to help us out because they're busy with an expedition. He's probably just saying that to keep us on our toes. Remember our last contract when they said that there won't be any reinforcements? And there was? You know what they call X-core excavation sites, right? Hellholes. Literal hellholes. We do have to stay on our toes because who knows what kind of monster might come crawling out of that dungeon. Seriously, it's... Child curled her fists and let out a frustrated sigh. Never mind. You do you, I guess. Keep going like that and you'll eventually find yourselves up shit creek without a paddle. Fine, why don't you quit staring at us and pay attention to the podium? Perhaps our threats worked. The child was allowed to focus fully on the director's briefing. But it wasn't long before the chatter resumed. The child had given up on lecturing them, however. It was better to tune them out and focus on the briefing, rather than trying to get them to shut up. And the wisdom of her choice became apparent not long after the briefing. Help! Monsters from the tunnels! A terrified civilian is shuddering, cornered at a dead end of a tunnel. Next to the civilian are 2 dead bodies in armours, sprawled unceremoniously on the floor. It was clear what happened here. I knew things were too good to be true when I excavated a super alloy microwave from this tunnel. The various types of the excavation site's monsters and their environs had been explained in detail during the briefing, but these 2 fixers, who neglected to pay attention, did not know what to do in case of an emergency, and met their demise. This was the consequence of even the briefest moment of laxity in the city. One of the moments picked up a spiked bat found in the excavation site and charged the miner. Gah! The civilian closed his eyes, realizing this was to be his final few seconds on Earth. I knew it. Glad I got to you in time. But a great sword that appeared from outside his line of sight stopped the spike bat, dead in its striking arc. Instead of the crushing sensation of spike bat to the face, however, the civilian heard the sound of metal striking against metal. He carefully opened his eyes. Yeah, a fixer? But I was told this excavation zone was assigned to only 2 of you guys. I was doing some extra patrols in this area. Had a bad feeling that something might have gone wrong. Please be careful. They already killed 2 of your colleagues. If they kill you too, I'm really done for. Oh, what can one fixer do 2 of them couldn't? Yeah, I can see that. Wish I could tell them I told you so right about now. Despite the civilian's worry, the child had no problem repelling the monster's attacks from all directions. At first, the monster attacked her with abandon, emboldened by her passive defensive stance. But they all soon found themselves rolling on the ground, gripping their arms and howling in pain. The recoil from striking her greatsword was actually hurting them. Now sit tight behind me until the reinforcements get here. How long can you hold out for? Well, let's see. 3 days should be a piece of cake. The serenity of her dry statement heavily contrasted with the peril that surrounded her. The child stood her ground the entire time she waited for the reinforcements to come. When the Zwei fixers arrived a few hours later, they found the civilian completely untouched and surrounded by bodies of unconscious monsters holding their broken weapons. Hey, you're here. And the child, who was polishing her greatsword to get the dirt off its blade. Yeah, she seems like she's going to be pretty busted. Anyway, I do actually want to show this off just a smidge, so tweaking her level just a tiny bit for safety's sake. Let's take her all the way back to First Inferno. I mean, we could always send in Picard Captain Ishmael, just for fun.
목표 위치로 돌격 중.
Oh, I forgot to check what sort of attacks she deals. They are purely blunt. So even though it's a sword, it's gonna hit like blunt. For some reason, this is actually dealing reduced damage? Power Guard, that's what it's called. Oh! Yeah, she just basically obliterated his stagger bar there.
위험인물 발견. 제압할게요.
Imagine pulling this at the start of the game.
위험인물 발견. 주바이의 미래였다니. 대범의 머리가 쪼개지진 않았을 텐데. 대범의 머리가 쪼개지진 않았을 텐데. 위험인물 발견. 제압할게요. 대검 방호. 대검 방호.
Yep, just it. No one ever gets a chance to move because we just keep staggering them.
위험인물 발견. 제압할게요. 대범의 머리가 쪼개지진 않았을 텐데. 대범의 머리가 쪼개지진 않았을 텐데. 대범의 머리가 쪼개지진 않았을 텐데.
Of course, we have to test her at actually decent levels to know how really good she is, but that was entertaining, wasn't it?
인명 피해 없음. 기물 피해 경로. 완벽한데요? 소문이 퍼지면 당분간 귀하신 분들의 영지 보호 의뢰가 끊이질 않겠어요.
But there's one thing that I'd like to look at before we end the episode. Lust, Gluttony, Pride. I already remember that this isn't quite the same elements that she has here, but that would be a lot. If so, basically, if this was if it went to, if her skill 1 was Gluttony, her skill 2 was Pride, and her skill 3 was Lust, then she could perfectly fuel Wingbeat all on her own. And a reminder on Wingbeat's passive. If this user isn't at max HP, if the user isn't at max HP, heal. So, Wait, no, if main target took HP damage this turn. So yeah, basically she'd be able to heal her back off and become a super... to be even tankier than she already is, which would be hilarious. So yeah, I can see a lot of fun being made with this Tremor tank. I think she's like the dicey Rhodian for sinking teams. Just so incredibly, brutally tanky, really. Yeah, I wonder who's gonna get the next set of IDs in about a week. But anyway, until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.
밤에는 눈을 항상 크게 뜨고 있어야 해요. 언제 급습이 일어날지 모르니까요.
아, 지금 하고 있는 거요? 이렇게 기사도라니. 그런 건 사고나 치고 돌아다니는 편력 기사들에게 찾는 게 빠를걸요. 저희는 츠바이 협회 소속의 방패지 동화 속의 기사님이 아니거든요.